my thing is,
what would you
what would you
advise
advise like
a young
a young
woman,
woman,
like
like
even
even
because
because
one of the things
one of
that
the things that
I heard the
I
other
heard
day,
the other
right?
day, right?
This
This
lady
lady
on
was
my
doing a
podcast. She said
podcast.
that
She said
a
that
lot of
a
times
lot of
she didn't
times
even
she
know
didn't even
herself.
know herself.
That
That
the
the
mothers they're not
mothers they're not
telling
telling
the young
the
girl or
young
the young
girl, the
woman
young
that
woman that
the truth
the
out there,
truth out
right?
there,
They were
right? They
saying
were
like
saying like
uh,
uh
most of the
most of the
people,
people,
most of the guys
most of
that
the
you're
guys
gonna
that you're
meet,
gonna meet,
99%
99% is
don't,
don't,
they would tell you
they
the
would tell you
sweet
the sweet
thing
thing
doesn't mean
doesn't mean
they want to
they
be with
want to be
you
with
or
you
they want
or
a
they want a
serious relation.
serious
Only
relation.
one
Only
percent.
one
It's only
percent. It's
one
only one
percent.
percent.
You find about
You
one
find about
percent
one
that
percent
really
that
want to
really
settle
want to
down,
settle
want to
down,
have
want to
kids,
have
want
kids,
to,
want
or
to,
if
or
you
if you
end up having
end up
kids,
having
that
kids,
to
that to
be
be
there for you,
there
right?
for
My
you, right?
thing
My
is,
thing is,
you know,
you know,
do
do
you?
you?
What I want to say
All I
is
want to say
like,
is like,
what would you
what would
tell
you
the young
tell the
woman
young
out there
woman out
to
there
watch
to
out
watch
for,
out
so
for
this
so
way
this
they
way
don't
they
fall
don't fall
into
into
that, the
that,
fact that
the fact that
yes,
yes,
something
something
happened,
happened,
but
but
he didn't
he
step
didn't
up
step up
to the
to
plate
the plate
to help out,
to help out,
Mhm. So the thing is that sometimes you don't know someone's not going to step up until a situation
Okay.
happens.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to sit here and say he was a bad person because at
Hmm.
the time he wasn't,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
You know, when I had to go take the train, he would ride the train because at the time I was living in Brooklyn. So
Okay.
he would ride the train with me all the way to Brooklyn and come back to Queens,
Hmm.
So would I have thought that he wouldn't step up? No.
Okay.
Maybe you
So
think
Maybe
maybe
you
it
think
was
maybe it was
fear for him
fear
I
for
think
him. Okay.
I think it was just the fear of
Hmm.
being a dad and fear of stepping up. But at the end of the day, like I said, you have the fear of being a dad, you have the fear of stepping up. But the thing about it is with moms, well good moms, you're always gonna be the mom. You know? So again, you don't sometimes you don't know the person's gonna bail out until a situation like because everything could be all good. Y'all, we were best friends,
Yeah. Yeah.
really good friends,
Hmm.
And then this happened, and then it was like peace out,
wow.
and then I was like bye bye,
Yeah.
and and then I stepped up and became you know, and my daughter. I mean, of course, every child needs their dad. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say that, but I don't think my daughter missed out on anything. I know some people won't agree with me, but
I mean,
I mean,
I did say
mhm.
every child should have their
Yes.
dad. I'm
yeah.
not saying that
Okay.
they
Hmm.
shouldn't, but at the same time, if you're not going to step up and do what you have to do,
Yeah.
it's not fair to play a
Yeah.
yo-yo. Like
No,
Yeah.
no,
people
No, no,
do. I'm here, then I'm not.
definitely. I
definitely.
mean,
I mean,
I'm not trying to
I'm not
plug
trying
my
to
book.
plug
I
my
did
book.
write a
I
book
did write
about
a book about
fatherhood. When
fatherhood.
I
When
did the
I did the
research,
research,
uh,
uh,
especially
especially
a young
a
lady, a
young lady, a
woman
woman
didn't need
didn't
their
need
father
their
in their
father
life.
in their life.
Yes,
Yes,
see,
Nisa,
but
but
since he wasn't
since he wasn't
offering
offering
anything,
anything,
so I
so
don't know.
I
Maybe
don't
in
know.
that way
Maybe in
you
that
mean
way
it,
you mean it,
that
that
he
he
did
he
not maybe
did
because
not
he
mean
wasn't
because he wasn't
offering
offering
anything, right?
anything, right?
Maybe
Maybe
but a
but a
dad,
dad,
or
What do you mean
or
by offering
like
anything?
you saying
like
that
you
he
saying that
wasn't
he
stepping
wasn't
up to the
stepping up
plate
to the
where to
plate
be
where
there
to
as a
be there as
dad.
a
So
dad.
therefore,
So
No,
therefore,
but from the
yeah,
beginning, right?
yeah.
From the time
Hmm.
I said I'm pregnant, it was like, oh
yeah, that's
no,
what I'm
I'm
Yeah, that's
saying.
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
So
so
therefore,
therefore,
see them
see
missing
them
because
missing
there
because
was
there was
yes,
Right,
yes,
exactly.
exactly.
that's
Yep,
what
I
I'm. Yeah,
understand. Sorry, I
okay, yeah,
misunderstood
yeah,
you. Yeah.
yeah. So,
What I
but
will,
hmm
but what I will say is, at a certain, if we were young, we were
Yes,
kids.
yeah,
We
hmm
were literally
yeah,
kids still
yeah,
in high school, right? So it's not fair to give a assessment about a
yeah.
child,
yeah,
But I will say to any grown women out there, if you have experience with men and you can tell what a man can offer and what he can't offer for you,
yeah,
you know? So, and it's equal, right? So for a man too, a man is gonna want to see what a woman could bring
Exactly.
to the
exactly,
table. Now
exactly.
we're switching
No,
topics
no,
here.
No, no, it's connected because
It's just connected. Don't
yeah.
get me started on that. But it has to be an equal
yeah,
thing,
Yeah,
But
because
so to a
mm,
young kid, I will
yeah,
always say, use protection. Make sure, try. I would never say, go ahead, maybe at a young age, it's cool. No, it's not, because then you miss out on your, going away to
Yeah.
school, or that's why I definitely encourage my daughter. It's so funny because my daughter had some friends whose parents didn't want them to go away to school, and I was like, let them go away. I won't say what school she went to, but she went to a HBCU, and I was like, go away to school because I want her to experience life. I want to make sure
More than
that.
bed, my kids
Far
are
away.
far away.
At,
That means
at
at
least
least
not
not more than 2 hours because I want to be able if she
call me.
call
or
me.
my
Yeah,
or
yeah,
my
yeah,
text,
yeah.
but not too
She's
far.
about 3 hours
Yeah.
away, not too
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
But I'll talk to you
Yes.
offline.
Yes.
You gotta let her go. Gotta let her go away.
Yes. Let us fly, right?
Yeah, let her fly. You
away.
want to know why? Because my
Mhm.
thought process is that you don't want your kids aging backwards,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You want them to go away to school, to experience
Yeah.
life,
Yeah,
to
my daughter
experience
wanna
going
go
away.
away.
So guess what? By the time
Yeah,
you
4 hours.
graduate
Mhm.
and you come back home, it's time for you to start your career, and you won't miss. Oh, I want to go out here. I want to go out here because you experienced that in college, right? So the thought about going to college is that you have your good grades and you still have fun, but you got your good grades and you're gonna. Yeah, that's the most important thing.
I let her go. I'm just gonna move like 10 blocks away.
Listen,
Yeah.
so maybe we can get both our kids to go
Yes,
together.
yes, exactly.
That's some comfort.
Yes.
They're besties, so
Yes,
that
they
makes sense.
Yes, see,
Yes, we actually
Come and see like,
come and see like,
what?
what you having?
I'm
I'm a friend mom on the show.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god, you like she was
Yeah,
This
I
is
dropped
my
it off
boy.
and I was like, I
Yes,
gotta go.
Yes,
Yeah.
this my boy.
She
Please
give me,
give me
Yes.
yes.
So
So my thing is,
you know,
we
were
talking about
briefly
with
about
about
relationship
or
choosing
choosing the right person. I think
it's
it's
hand in
hand
hand,
in hand,
right?
right?
It's connected,
It's connected because you
anybody
anybody
that
that you
talking to,
talking to, you dating, I would say
that
that
you should
you should
expect that
expect
you
that
might
you
have
might
a kid
have a
with
kid
that,
Mhm.
with that
right?
person, right?
No,
No, I mean
if you're having
if you're having sex,
you're gonna
If
have
you're
gonna have
you're
you're
Yeah,
gonna
but you
you
should be
there-
using
even
protection.
even put
what do they
what
send
do
it
they
But I
send the
hear you.
condom?
I hear you.
Okay.
any those
Protection,
protection,
all of them say
it's not 100%,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
right?
So
So
my
my
thing
thing is, should
we
we
also
also
advise
advise young people, right?
girls
Girls or
boys, right?
boys, right?
That
That
when you
when you date
or you're talking
or you're
to
talking
somebody,
to somebody, you have to
with
date with
intention,
intention,
right?
right?
Like
To make sure that
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 maybe
not saying it's gonna happen. Maybe that person
be
might be
the father of
the
your
father of
kids.
your kids.
Maybe
Maybe that person might be the mother of your kids.
So make
So
sure
make sure
you look at
you look at
characters.
characters.
You look at.
You look at. I mean, that age. Like you were saying,
it's hard
it's
for you
hard
to.
for you to.
I'm conflicted with that because
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Tell me
that's
why.
a
Tell me
hard,
why.
That's a hard question because you want your kids to date, right? To
Mhm.
explore,
Yeah.
right? But at the same token, you want to make sure, like, when, okay, for example, with my
Okay.
kids, right? So I'm like, so I'm saying when you're dating well,
Mhm.
not my younger one, the older one, the younger
Mhm.
one's too young to date, but the older one, I did tell her, you should try to date with intent,
Mhm.
and see the type of person he is, right?
Because remember, you
Dating.
dating. I'm not saying dating, right? You date.
But I did say
you-
date with intent, so I'm contradicting myself.
No.
But what I was
But
saying,
what I was saying in the beginning, is you're doing a process of elimination, right?
So
So
before
you get that close to that person, right?
So you're
So you're not
trying
to
test their
test their character.
Yeah, so
You know what I'm
I think
saying?
that's what I was trying to
Yeah,
say, right?
okay.
Just because you're dating someone doesn't mean you're sleeping with them.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly, but
So that's why I was like, you can't say you're dating, you'll get pregnant. No, that's not true.
before you get
Yeah,
to that level, I was.
before you
Mhm.
get to that level, that's why I was like, wait, I'm conflicted because I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
We gotta be careful.
Mhm.
People are listening, so we gotta be
Yeah.
careful what we're
No,
putting out
exactly,
there, right?
exactly.
Power of the tongue.
Yeah.
So, before you get to that level, you
Mhm.
have to see the type of person he is because
Yeah.
your body is your temple,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And we don't want our girls to have a lot of bodies on their bodies.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're experimenting with
Mhm.
15 people. 'Cause that's
And
just
then
way
And
too
then the
much.
boys too. Let's be clear because it's
for both.
for both.
Oh. Voice is different.
No, you
No,
can't
you
say
can't
that
say
because
that because
I
I
believe that the
believe that the
same way,
same
right?
way,
It
right?
might be
It might
different
be
as far
different as
as,
far as
like
like
remember there's
remember
spill,
there's
right?
spill, right?
The what do they
The
call
what
it?
they
The
Yes.
call
show
it, the
time.
show
Mhm.
tie.
You
Mhm.